My name is Michael Payne. I'm the Executive Vice President and Corporate Counsel with Appy Energy here in Salisbury, Maryland. Appy Energy is an independent energy consulting firm. We work for consumers of electricity and natural gas here in Maryland and many other states across the nation. First of all, as a participant in the energy industry here in Maryland and across the nation now for about 13 years, we've always tried to be in a position where we can offer advice and education and access to solutions in the industry. And we felt that this organization was one that was impartial and very straightforward in its mission, much like APPI Energy, based upon education, information sharing, and access to solutions in a competitive market. We felt that this organization fosters that, and that meshed well with our corporate business philosophy and platform. We feel it's very important for businesses and other users of electricity in Maryland, whether they be governmental entities or schools or churches or manufacturers, whatever type of consumer that they might be, to be active in the energy space. This is an area that's obviously top of mind these days. Energy is such a critical part of not just operations but of the cost structure for businesses and governmental entities these days, that the more businesses and those other participants are involved in the industry, we think that's better. I think there's probably two major effects. First of all, from an operational perspective, it would shut down business and operations of government and other critical services for that short period of time, which, as we've seen in the past when there were blackouts, either here in the Mid-Atlantic or the Northeast or in California or other regions, it's just devastating for the consumers that are affected by that loss of power for the short period of time. Further, though, I think it's important to note that it would create more uncertainty in the marketplace and create, frankly, a sense of fear that may happen again. Upgrades to the electricity grid system are absolutely critical. This area of the country, in fact, like most of the country, is growing steadily. Even though we've had this economic downturn the last couple of years, things seem to have steadied by and large. And in fact, in the Mid-Atlantic region, when you look at the Northern Virginia suburbs through D.C., through Maryland, even over into Delaware and the Philadelphia region, other parts of Pennsylvania, the economies there are growing steadily. That means that businesses need more power every day. Governmental entities need more power every day. There are more residences being constructed that are consumers of energy. So even though growth has not been at the pace it was in the mid-2000 period, certainly things have stabilized. The systems that we have in place now are functioning. They are operating well. But so I think that consumers shouldn't be concerned about reliability day to day. But as I mentioned earlier, described earlier, as our growth in demand for electricity continues, and it will, that the local utilities, the grid system operators, in a coordination with the federal authorities at FERC, Department of Energy, and others, do coordinate this growth and make sure that the systems that we need are upgraded, whether it be a wind farm system off the Delaware coast or off Ocean City here in Maryland. The same challenges are there. The windmills will probably work efficiently, and in some cases work very well as the wind systems turn the windmills and generate electricity. But again, you can't store it, so the cables and the wiring systems would have to be laid under the seabed in an efficient manner that doesn't harm or disrupt the wildlife there and the sea systems, so that the electricity, when generated, can be transmitted efficiently across Delmarva, this grid system, and then to the population centers across Delmarva, or perhaps even up into Philadelphia or Annapolis, etc. And we need to focus on the grid system, on the reliable delivery of the electricity that's being generated, and frankly, look at other sources of electricity generation, whether it's ramping up nuclear technology, which is now starting again, which I think is important, as well as adding other more fuel efficient and less and more environmentally sensitive electric generation sources, for instance, like natural gas driven turbine systems. So a combination of all those is probably the right balance.